Paulo was so excited he couldn't fish. Tomorrow was his birthday, and he and his father were going to Belém, the great city near the mouth of the Amazon River. Paulo and his family lived deep in the Amazon jungle, where they fished and planted manioc. In all his young life, Paulo had never been downriver. Manioc is a plant grown for its root, which can be eaten. Long before he saw the old steamer chugging around the bend, Paulo heard its whistle blow. He ran to the riverbank and waited. "We will go to the old part of the city, the harbor, and the market," said Paulo's father as the boat swung into mid-river. "I want you to see the gifts our great river gives us." They passed small settlements at the edge of the rainforest, and many boats along the way. Early the next morning, Paulo's father gently shook him awake. "Paulo, come see!" There it was, the harbor, guarded by its old stone fort and a huge cast-iron building with 4 pointed turrets. Turrets are small towers that are at the corners of some large buildings. The tide was out, and the fishing boats with their colorful sails were lying in the mud, bellies exposed. They left the steamer and joined the early morning crowds. Paulo had never seen so many people. The fishermen were selling fish on the dock or cooking breakfast pots on the slanted decks of their boats. Outside, they wandered through the covered stalls in the market. Paulo stared at the strange assortment of folk medicine. There were dried lizards, snake tails, porpoise jaws, sloth claws, and vials of pure white turtle fat. There were cures for backache, stomachache, headache, and fever. Folk means the common people of a region that represent a traditional way of life. There was a man selling crabs as blue as the sky. There were achai in baskets with palm leaf lids, gleaming pottery, and big bottles of yellow tucapai. Achai is the fruit of a palm tree, and tucapai is a sauce made from manioc. The tide began to turn, as black vultures soared in to feast on the discarded remains of fish on the mudflats. Paulo's father grew solemn. "I hope the river and forest will continue to give their fits for your birthday, but there is so much ignorance in the world. The forest is burned for farming and ranching. In a few years, the land is no good for anything. The earth is torn open for gold, destroying the streams and killing the fish. Our poor Amazon." Paulo saw how wet his father's eyes had become. Early the next morning, Paulo went fishing. Before long, he realized his canoe was being pulled upstream. His fishing line was as taut as a bowstring. Hand over hand, he pulled in the line until he saw in the water a fillhope bigger than his canoe. "We will be rich," cried Paulo. "My father and I will take you to Belém and sell you at the market. It will take 3 big men to carry you on their heads." He looked down at the great whiskered face in the water and suddenly remembered his father's solemn words. He reached down and gently removed the hook. The fish slid back in the gloom. "Goodbye and good luck, great fish," said Paulo.